Saturday, time to kick off the Experts program, and our tech expert, Luis Alvarez, is with us. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Mark. How are you on this lovely weekend? Well, last weekend in August, right?
That's right. We're going to head into September. Labor Day weekend is coming up, although it's going to be a different kind of holiday weekend with the fact that so much is still closed. So
I'm still going to barbecue, man. Still barbecuing.
Right. Excellent. What's going to be on the menu?
I think I want to make a smoked brisket. We have a smoker, and we haven't done a brisket in a while. I get my briskets from Star Market, and they always have a really nice cut of brisket with nice fatty flap on it. And you throw that on the smoker for 6-7 hours, and you got yourself a meal.
What time's dinner? I'll just follow my nose, I'll just head in your direction. Speaking about buying food, Amazon is going to open its first Los Angeles Amazon Fresh supermarket with smart cards. How's this going to work?
The thing about grocery shopping is that the pandemic has really changed a lot of the ways people shopped. And I remember in the early days of the pandemic, you'd have to wear gloves, and then later they decided it wasn't gloves, it was masks, and that's how we go to the store now. But despite the pandemic, Amazon has been pushing to create a much more kind of self-service experience for buyers, because they recognize that people like to take care of themselves, that one of the biggest complaints that folks that go to grocery stores have is waiting in line for the cashier. So what they've designed is a store that's about the size of a typical Whole Foods, so like the one out in Del Monte Shopping Center, and a typical grocery store. But as you load up your cart, it actually is calculating what your costs are. And at the end of your shopping, you just walk through a special line rather than going through a cashier line or having to do a self-checkout. You just walk through this line that calculates all of your purchases, rings it up, charges your Amazon Prime account, and out the door you go.
Wow, that sounds really fast. And then are you bagging everything yourself, or is someone going to bag it for you?
Yeah, so what the cart has two bags that are like essentially has a little holder for two bags. So you're actually putting your stuff into the bag as you shop. And if you need more than two, you can get more than one cart. But the idea is to kind of speed up the entire process and give you, the shopper, the ability to take care of things on your own without having to depend on anybody else.
I bet this will be successful, because Amazon they have not made too many mistakes. They've done the research that shows exactly what people want, and they're going to give it to them.
Well, and if you look back at all the things that used to be handled by somebody else, where you had to actually transact business with another human being, that now have become automated, starting with ATMs. Imagine if to this day you still had to go to a bank and walk up to a teller to ask for money. We would all be super frustrated. It's easier just to go to your ATM and get your money out. That's led to a whole bunch of self-service things, kiosks at airport when we used to travel, where you could check yourself in rather than go through some check-in process and wait in line for that. And they get that people like that convenience, and they just were working hard to design it. And they've done a number of different concepts, and they think this is the one that's going to work. And this first store down in LA is just opened up this past week. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of them all over the country.
Does this store have a restricted access? I remember we talked last year about stores that would be technology-based, where there would be no money that would change hands. You had like an account or a special card that would give you access to the store. You could go in at any time of the day, and the only way that you could open up the cases and get what you wanted was that you had to swipe your card, and it would debit it, and then it would allow you to take the item that you wanted.
So I think what they're going to do is kind of the same thing. When you go to Costco, you have to flash your Costco membership card to get in. And here, what they're going to do is you're going to have an Amazon account to be able to go into the store, so that they can debit your credit card directly without having you have to input anything. So it's going to be restricted to members, if you will, I suspect. And I think this will also increase the number of people who will join Amazon if they want to go to these stores. But so many people are already members. I don't think Amazon's too concerned that they're that they're going to limit themselves to just a certain group of people in the geography.
Sure. At some point, obviously, if this concept takes off, we're going to see one of these stores here in Monterey County, and I'll bet dollars to donuts it will be located somewhere between Monterey and Carmel, probably closer to between Pacific Grove and Monterey somewhere.
Yeah, and that's probably more likely than not. There's a reason Whole Foods is in Monterey, and that's because it appeals to a more affluent clientele that are willing to spend a little bit more money for their groceries and are looking for a little different experience than folks that are going to the typical grocery grocery store like a Safeway or Nob Hill. But if it's successful initially here, I don't doubt that they'll put one in Salinas, because that's really where population center is. And as you and I know, there are a lot of Amazon members in Salinas. So that's the nice thing about Amazon, is they know where all of their members live, right? It's not difficult for them to figure out where the best place to put these stores is.
So who do you think is going to be most impacted by this? Is this going to hit Whole Foods? Will this hit higher end retailers like a Star Market or Nielsen's or Bruno's?
I think it's going to more impact the Safeways and the Nob Hills, the traditional grocery stores, because people are looking, one, you're seeing a move more and more to delivery service for groceries. Instacart is hugely popular in Monterey County. So many of my friends like the idea of not having to go to the store. First, it was a pandemic. Now it's just a convenience. And they've learned that it's not a nightmare. It's not difficult. It's really easy to do. And so you're going to see, some people predict that by 2025, about half of the grocery shopping that's done will be delivery service. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these stores like Safeway and Nob Hill they're pivoting to cater to that clientele. If you go to any of those stores, you'll see that big room off to the side where they're piling up like personal shopping bags ready to be delivered or ready to be picked up. So those stores already recognize that they're going to have to change and alter their practices. So if Amazon proves to be successful, I expect that they're going to copy that same format.
What about DoorDash? They're doing something now too. They're going to enter the grocery delivery service.
Yeah, so there are a lot of players. Instacart was the first one that was out there. And really before the pandemic, they were, there's some people used them, but not a lot. Now it's become kind of a preferred method of getting your groceries, because it's super easy to go online. You pick all your items, you pay for it, you push a button, and your groceries show up either, within a day or even sooner. And so DoorDash is jumping into the fray, and they want to be able to do the same sort of thing that they've been doing with food service, right? So DoorDash started as a way to deliver restaurant food, takeout to people who wanted to do takeout from restaurants that didn't necessarily offer it. And now they're going to add groceries to their list of services that they provide. And I suspect they're going to do just fine.
Brave new world. And we're talking about it here, Tech Talk with Luis Alvarez on Power Talk 1460 and 101 FM. Alvarez Technology Group are the folks we're talking about. It's alvareztg.com on the web, at alvareztg. That's the Twitter handle. And if you need some security, network security help, computer help, all you need to do is contact the I-Team at the Alvarez Technology Group. Luis, how do folks get in touch with that I-Team?
Well, you can give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326.